The Dior Prive line is one of my favorite fragrance lines, so I decided to share with you guys my collection. I will be ranking my fragrances from my least favorite to my most favorite and just telling you a little bit about each one of them. If you're interested, then just keep watching. Before we get into the video, I do want to quickly introduce myself for those of you who may be new here. My name is Ayesha. I make videos about fragrance, beauty, luxury, and lifestyle. If those are things you're interested in, please consider subscribing. And if you are a returning subscriber, hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. So as I said, we are going to be talking about the fragrances from the Dior Prive line. I'm just going to grab one of the bottles so you can see what they look like. This line, this is the higher end line of Dior, and I have quite a few bottles from them. I have a total of 8 fragrances that I'm going to share with you guys today. I had 9, but one of them left my collection, which I will mention in a second. But all of these fragrances are beautiful, and there is a reason that they all are still in my collection. And so even though I'm ranking them from my least favorite to my worst favorite, that doesn't mean that any of them are bad fragrances, because if I felt like they were a bad fragrance, they would not be in my collection anymore. So let's go ahead and get into it. So since we're starting out with my least favorite, I will mention the one fragrance that is no longer in my collection, and that is Spice Blend. So Spice Blend, I was so excited to get. It is very interesting. It's a spicy blend of notes, as the name would suggest. And to me, it's a lot of kitchen spices. Sometimes it does get compared to Viktor & Rolf Spice Bomb. I have noticed that on Fragrantica. And I do think they are somewhat similar, but definitely not the same. If you're comparing Spice Blend to the original Spice Bomb, it is less sweet. It's definitely more of an exotic spice. But I would say they are kind of in the same family of fragrances. Now, I did really like that fragrance, and I really like to wear it layered with my Kayali Vanilla 28, but I found that every time I wanted to wear it by itself, it just didn't do it for me. I thought it was a beautiful fragrance, but for some reason I felt like it smelled masculine on me. And I know women that have Spice Blend, even like more feminine women than me probably, wear Spice Blend and they are good with it, but for me, I just felt like it felt too masculine. And so I ended up selling that one, so it's no longer in my collection. So now let's go ahead and get to the fragrances that are in my collection still. So in 8th place, I have Santal Noir. Now this fragrance is no longer available on the Dior US site. I don't know why. It was only there for a short time and I picked it up and now it's no longer there. So I know they do sell this at other countries. I know people have seen this at airports and in Dior boutiques. I do not have a Dior boutique near me, so all of the fragrances that I have here, I ordered blindly off the internet. Except for one, and that's just because I had a sample of that one, but all the others I ordered blindly. So Santal Noir is a beautiful, deep, woody sandalwood scent, but it is so smooth and comforting. Now, the reason this is in the lowest spot for me is because I got this at the end of last winter, so probably around like February 2020. And to me, this is definitely a cold weather only scent. It's very deep. It kind of reminds me of a suede. It kind of has a suede note to it. I'm not sure what the notes are in this fragrance, but to me, it kind of smells like a suede and sandalwood mix. So it's kind of leathery. In a way, it does remind me of ombre leather, but it's not as leathery as that. But if I had to think of a fragrance right offhand that it immediately reminds me of, it's ombre leather, but they are not the same. You could definitely have both. But if you've ever smelled ombre leather from Tom Ford and you know how smooth that fragrance is, this one is just as smooth, if not smoother. And it's definitely not as strong of a leather smell. I'm not even sure if leather is a note in this fragrance, but I would bet that it is. And the sandalwood in this is not a very sharp sandalwood. It is more of a, I mean, you definitely get the woodiness and kind of that pencil shaving smell, but it's not very prominent. To me, it's kind of a more creamy sandalwood, but it's not a sweet, creamy sandalwood. So it's definitely woody, but it's also kind of creamy. I hope that makes sense. I feel like sandalwood is one of those notes that smells quite different in different fragrances. And in this one, it's really, really well done. So I really hope to be able to get a lot more use out of this one this coming winter because it is a gorgeous scent. And yeah, that is Santal Noir. So the next fragrance that I have is Bois d'Argent. And this one you can see I have in the smaller size bottle. This is the 40 ml bottle. They don't have this size in all of their fragrances. Just for comparison, this size is 125 mls, I believe. I hope that's right. I think it's 125 mls, and this one is 40 mls. So just FYI. But like I said, not all of the fragrances come in this small size. But I will say the ones that do come in the small size usually are around $100. Some I think are a little bit more, but they're around like right at $100. So I feel like if you like one of the fragrances that come in the small size, it's a nice way to be able to try it. I know $100 is still a lot, but it's a nice way to be able to try it without spending a ton of money, because the bottles that come in this size, depending on which fragrance you're looking at, they can be anywhere from like $250 to $350. So just FYI. So anyway, Boyette Road. This is a beautiful scent. Beautiful, beautiful scent. So it has iris in there, but if you are used to a very powdery feminine iris, this is not that. This is an iris that has a slight bit of powderiness to it, but it's just so beautiful. It's not super powdery. To me, it doesn't smell super feminine. It is blended with woods, and I believe some incense is in here, or at least it smells that way to me. But there's also a bit of brightness to it. I don't know if it's from the flower or what it's from, but to me, that's how I would describe this scent. It's an iris with some woodsy notes, some incense that is still bright and just very lovely. I love this one. Kind of hard to explain, but it is absolutely gorgeous. And the reason that it's lower on this list is honestly because the wear on this is not amazing. Now, when I think about the Dior Prive line, as a line, I feel like all of the scents are very elegant. Most of them are not beast mode, and longevity, sillage are probably moderate on most of their fragrances. They do have some that are like extreme projection, extreme longevity, but for the most part, the ones that I have tried all are kind of average. So when I say average, I would say like 6 hours or so of wear on them. For Boyette Road, I feel like I can't smell this one after 4 hours, and that's really what bumps it down for me. It is a beautiful scent. I do really enjoy it, and because I have the small bottle, I think next time I wear this, I'll just carry it along with me because it's perfect purse size for me. But I really do need to wear it more often. It is a beautiful scent, and on this one, I think it is unisex. But if I had to pick which way it leans, I would say it probably leans a bit more feminine. I actually forgot to mention that for Santal Noir. If I had to pick which way it leans, I would say it leaned a bit more masculine, but I definitely think that women can easily pull this off, especially if you like something like Tom Ford ombre leather. This will be an easy pull off for you. So in sixth place, I have a fragrance that was released from the brand earlier this year, and this is Eden Rock. So this fragrance is a summertime stunner for me. It is gorgeous. So when it came out, I expected it to be more of a suntan lotion scent, but that is not what it is. This to me is more of a classy luxury resort type scent. So there is some coconut in this fragrance, but I don't find coconut to be like the star player. To me, this is more about the floral and mineral notes in this fragrance. So it's like a salty sea type fragrance. And it's one of those fragrances that is kind of a sleeper scent in my opinion. When I first tried this, I was not impressed. I thought it was kind of boring, but the more I wore it, the more I loved it. And you can see how much I've used of my actual bottle. And before this, I actually had a travel size scent. So I think one of the quintessential summer scents that everybody can relate to, or most people have smelled anyway, is Tom Ford Soleil Blanc. Y'all know I love that. Now, I always say that Soleil Blanc smells like a luxury resort to me. So Eden Rock is kind of the more luxurious resort than Soleil Blanc. It is gorgeous. Again, it's one of those scents that you may not love when you first smell it. You may think it's boring, but when I wear this, I feel like it's just really beautiful and elegant, and I really enjoy it for hot weather. So in fifth place, I have another hot weather scent, and this is Rouge Trafalgar. Now this one is a raspberry scent, but it definitely has some greenness to it, some tartness to it, and it's just very refreshing. The color of the juice perfectly matches the smell of this fragrance. So if you like fruity fragrances, but you want something more elevated, this may be an option, because although this is a fruity fragrance, it's not a sweet fragrance. It's raspberry that's tart and slightly sweet, but it's not a sweet, girlish fragrance. Now, I tend to think that this fragrance is probably more feminine than masculine, but because it's not sweetened sugar, I would like to smell this on a man just to see how it does and how it plays with the man's skin chemistry, because like I said, although raspberry is the key note in this, it's definitely not a girlish scent. This is a very elevated raspberry scent, and it's absolutely gorgeous, perfect for hot weather. It's Rouge Trafalgar. So in fourth place, I have probably one of the most popular scents from the line, and this is none other than Ambre Nuit. So as the name would suggest, this is an amber fragrance, but this is an amber that is not super heavy. You actually can wear this fragrance year round. I typically don't. I have a lot of fragrances, so I typically save this for the colder weather, but it's definitely one you could wear year round. So it's amber, it's spicy, it smells like it has a little bit of vanilla in there, but it's not overly sweet. It's not an overpowering amber scent, and it also smells like it could be a bit of cinnamon in this fragrance. But if there is cinnamon in here, it doesn't overpower the scent. I know sometimes cinnamon can be hit or miss for people because cinnamon is a very strong smell generally. If there is cinnamon in here, which I'm not sure if there is, but if there is, it doesn't overpower it. It just gives it a little bit of an extra oomph, like it smells, the spice in here is just perfectly balanced with the other notes in the fragrance. And I think it's absolutely gorgeous. I think this is very easy to wear. And like I said, even though it's an amber scent, I don't think it's overpowering. I think it's very well blended, and I think it's perfectly unisex. So that is Ambre Nuit. All right, so we are down to the top three. And in third place, I think I have the newest release from Dior. I'm pretty sure it's the newest release. This is Vanilla Diorama. This came in and stole my heart. Look how much I've used. So this, I feel like I've talked about a lot, so I'm not gonna spend a lot of time on it. But it is a gorgeous vanilla with some citrus notes to it. So when you first smell it, the citrus is very prominent, but as you wear it, the citrus notes kind of die down, but they always remain. So when I say citrus, it smells more like a sweet orange mixed with vanilla and also with some lime. But like I said, as you continually wear it, the vanilla comes out more, the citruses move to the background, but you can still smell that beautiful orange note in this fragrance. And then in addition to that, the vanilla in this is more of a spicy vanilla. So this is not an overly sweet, overly girlish vanilla. It's definitely one that I could also see a man pulling off. However, when I wear it, I feel like it smells perfect on me. So I think this one is perfectly unisex, and I just think it's absolutely gorgeous. Now, although this is a vanilla scent, this is not one that's gonna give you like a ton of projection. So I actually wore this like at the end of summer, but I think it's best suited for cool to colder weather. But you could probably wear this year round, just depending on what you're doing, because even though it's a vanilla, it's not an overpowering scent at all. So this is Vanilla Diorama. So in second place is a fragrance that I absolutely love, but unfortunately, because of where I live, I don't get to wear it as much as I would like. This is Tabacalore. So this fragrance is a beautiful, sweet, very sweet tobacco scent. I'm not sure if honey is a note in this, but to me, it smells like a very syrupy, sweet honey tobacco. This is not a smoky tobacco. This is more like tobacco leaf or like dry tobacco. But yeah, it is just absolutely gorgeous. It's so sweet and so syrupy and thick smelling. It's absolutely gorgeous. Now, I will say this is one of the ones that lasts forever. Actually, this is the longest lasting out of all the Dior scents that I have. This one lasts on my skin probably about 12 hours, no joke. I'm not even talking about clothes, I'm talking about on the skin. It is amazing. So you don't need a lot of this. So you can see I don't have much of a dent in there, but I have worn this fragrance, and I would wear it more if I lived somewhere where it was colder. But honestly, this is too much for hot weather. This is not one that I would wear during the summer. Probably not even at night, to be honest, because I would never want it to become bothersome. And because it's so sweet and so dense, I don't think that it would work in warm weather. But yeah, Tabacalore is absolutely gorgeous, and I will definitely be reaching for this some more this winter. I cannot wait to really start wearing this again. So that is Tabacalore. And in first place is probably the most popular fragrance from the line, and obviously it's my favorite. This is none other than Fève Délicieuse. Now, this fragrance is a love for a lot of people, but I know this is a very polarizing scent. Some people hate it. I happen to be on the love train. It is an absolutely gorgeous tonka scent that has hints of like almond and cherry to it. I don't think cherry or almond are a note in this fragrance if I remember correctly, but the way that this smells, it definitely smells like there's cherry, almond, tonka, vanilla. It's a very calming, warm, comforting scent. I always call this my hug in a bottle. This is one that, again, is better suited for cold weather. However, you see I have a good dent in there, right? And that's because this is a very cozy, comforting scent for me. So a lot of times, especially at night, if I'm not having a good day, or if I didn't have a good day and I just want something to make me feel better, this does that for me. And I know that may sound silly, but it's absolutely true. This makes me feel like I am just being enveloped in a warm hug from a loved one, even though it's just a fragrance. So I have worn this a lot more because I wear it at night to bed sometimes. And yeah, I know it's expensive, and some of y'all are probably like, what, do you wear that to bed? Yes, I wear it to bed because I absolutely love it. This is in my top 10 of all my fragrances, so of course it's number 1 for me from Dior. And I would highly recommend this if you like tonka bean scents. Again, it's not for everybody, so if you can get a sample, definitely get a sample, but it's absolutely gorgeous, and it's the best tonka bean fragrance I personally have ever smelled. So that is Fève Délicieuse. So that was my Dior Prive collection. I kind of felt like I was all over the place in this video, like my words just wouldn't come out right. So if I forgot anything, definitely ask your questions down below and I'll try to answer them as quickly as I can. Forgive me if I stumbled over my words a lot in this video because I felt it, but hey, hopefully it turns out good anyway, and hopefully you guys found it helpful. If you enjoyed it, please give it a big thumbs up. Also, make sure you're subscribed and turn on your notification bell so that you don't miss a video from me. Also, if you're not following me on Instagram, go ahead and do that too. I always like to talk with you guys over there in the direct messages, and it's just like a lot easier to communicate on Instagram. I hope you guys enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed making it. Thanks again for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.